And this morning I'm here to talk to you about the power of the Spirit, the power of your spirit, the opportunity that comes along from you and I to be the individual, that unique personality of one, and yet through the Spirit we all become connected. And that's what I feel is so wonderful about the freedom of being involved with spiritualism, that we come to be aware that this connection that we have with all of humanity, all living, all vibration things, comes from that which is within. And we often hear people saying, my brother. We have in the 7 principles the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. And sometimes you look at people and you think, oh God, I can't be her sister, or I can't be her brother. They're nothing like me at all. They don't have the same culture as me. They don't understand as I understand. They're not even the same colour as I am. They don't speak the same language as me. And once you start to go down that road, you start to think, well, no, how can they possibly be my brother? And yet, once we start to think about the one voice and the one spirit, and we remove the personality, the character, the language, the country of origin, we then begin to recognise that we are all very, very much connected together. And that's the power of the Spirit. And when you look at the great souls that have lived upon our earth since time began, you're looking at people that were a unique individual, and yet in that uniqueness of their individuality, they have wrought a change for the entire human race. And that's rather a wonderful thing to think about, that when you talk about Gandhi, you talk about Martin Luther King, you talk about all the great personalities that have experienced life on our earth, and they were but one person, but they had something very, very special, and it's that same specialness that you and I have, and it's the specialness of the human spirit, and that's what brings the change. And I'm sure for many of you who are here today, that when you're touching the souls of humanity, that you bring change into their lives. And you bring change into their lives because you can psychically read them, or that you can make a contact with the discarnate spirit. I believe not. I believe the change that you will bring into being is through the empathy of your spirit touching their spirit, uplifting them, transforming in a way perhaps their understanding or their thinking, but bringing about a change. And really, that's who we are, you and I, and that's what we're about. Helping people to connect to that human spirit, that power within that is so strong, and yet through that strength of the power within, we can change the world. Unfortunately, we have fallen into the trap of believing that we can't change the world. For who are we as an individual? What can we do to change the world? And yet I would suggest that you, each and every one of you, in your own way, on one level, through the power of your spirit, have wrought change into people's life. That you've brought them freedom from pain. You've helped them to understand the complexity of relationships. That you've been there for them when they've just needed that strength and that support that says to them, this too shall pass. This problem that you're facing, it will pass. And it's not because of your clairvoyant vision, and it's not because of the contact with the world of the spirit. It's the contact with you, that indwelling power that emanates when people sit in your presence. For it is about your presence in people's lives that ultimately bring the change. It's not always connected with the words you speak, the actions that you do, but the sheer and absolute presence of your spirit that emanates throughout every fibre of your being to touch humanity wherever it's needed. You see, the presence and the power of our spirit is something that if you are going to walk this journey of mediumistic development, it's something that I want you to stand in high regard of, the presence of your spirit. Because often you will be with people who you can't heal, people that you can't give the right answer to, people and personalities that will come and sit with you. And you will find that, yes, you'd love to have that contact with the spirit world that would ease their pain, but it doesn't come. But just sitting with you in your presence of spirit may give them that ultimate support that will help them to take that next step upon their pathway of life. The problem that you and I have is our logical mind, our need to do everything right for everyone. We want the right answer. We want the right contact. We feel we know what is right for other people. And yet when we listen to that inner voice, that spirit that resides within, quite often you recognize that it's only the touch of your spirit that will help them to find the answers that they actually need. And you know that's really what we are about, you and I. Exploring that inner being, that something that is intangible, something that you can't actually see or know or touch, because the inner spirit gives us the true emotion of the everlasting power that's often termed God. And in the hurry and in the discussions and in the unfoldment of mediumship, one has to be very, very cautious that they don't lose that sensitivity that is within them, that power that is the all-sustaining, all-understanding, all-serving, beginning to recognize that power and then becoming proud and standing straighter and taller, seeing your eyes reaching out to look at another, allowing the reflection of that peace and calmness from the indwelling spirit to come out, to be seen with those people around you.